All right, here I can talk. Right here is probably the best.
Yeah. If you just want to like really get
right
in there,
into it.
Yeah.
Just
But
like
lower your voice
just
the
like
closer you
singing.
get. Yeah.
You have to just put your mouth on the microphone.
How many times have you been electrocuted doing that?
Almost every time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Some terrible ground.
No one knows how to ground around here. Hi, my name's Adam. Hello. My name's Adam. What do you want from me? Beep, beep, beep. And then you could just sprinkle those throughout.
Yeah, I could.
I was in a band for a talent show called Geek Squad. We didn't win. I was in Cunning Stunts. I was in Wicked Darling. I was in The Vexed. Hi, I'm Adam Abrahamson. Beep beep. Woo woo.
That sounds good. Perfect. Got it.
Great.
2 reclining bucket seats and carpeting for both your feet and windows made of tinted glass. A key for locking up your gas.
How did Dodge Colt put so much in such a little car?
Okay, so my first car was a Dodge Colt, and originally I thought, I know it's a late 70s one, so it was a late 70s one. It's gone now. I think it ended up at Johnson's Wrecking.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't see any Dodge Colts really on the road anymore. So I think they probably all ended up in a junkyard.
Yeah.
And the only reason why that car, I probably would have, I can't say still been driving it, but it would have lasted much longer. But it stopped going in reverse.
Oh.
So, and that sucked in high school.
Right.
Because I for the longest time, it went in reverse just fine. And then finally it didn't. So I'd get into a parking space.
Yep.
And I could never park into a normal parking space. It always had to be in the street. And so I'd park. But if someone parked behind me and in front of me, I'd have to just get in the car and sit and wait until the car in front of me moved out of the way, or the car behind me got out and left, and then I could get out and push the car back, because this was a smaller 2-door hatchback.
Yeah.
It's probably was, I want to say like 8 feet long.
Okay.
It was compact. You could get people in the back seat, but really it was meant for like, front seat, driver, and passenger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a sweet color. It was a turd brown.
Turd brown.
Lovingly referred to as the Turdmobile.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a nice car. My dad said that was the only car he had ever purchased new. So it was a big deal. So I think a part of him broke.
So wait, he got this in the 70s?
Yeah. He got it like when it came out. And that's why I think originally I thought it was a 79. But when I looked up a car commercial, there's a 78 in this commercial that looks exactly like it.
Okay.
Except the one in the commercial was yellow, but that
Diarrhea
70s.
yellow, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they all came out with poop color.
Right.
There's probably a green.
Yeah.
If you're sick.
Yeah.
That color too.
Right.
So this was a nice brown, and I can't, it's not really like a common brown these days. It's not the kind that they use. It wasn't like a deep brown. I lowered my voice when I said deep. It was a deep brown. It was more like getting to the lighter mid brown.
Sure.
And it was a nice car. It wasn't, no one wanted to drive. Like, I didn't want it. It's just the car I got.
Yeah.
But I grew to appreciate it being that was my only option.
Sure.
So it's like, if I want to drive, that's the car I have to drive. And so I remember getting it, and the first thing when I got it that I did was, of course, switched out like the stereo.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like the original stock stereo. And I swear it didn't even get FM. I swear it was just an AM radio in there.
Cool. Not cool, but
I would probably appreciate it now. Mm-hmm. I'd be fine just listening to AM radio these days.
Yeah.
But back then...
So you went from AM radio to like a tape deck?
Let's see. This would have been... I would have got it in 97?
Okay.
I was feeling right. 98, something like that. So I want to say I put a CD in there, but I don't think so, because I was still poor, like I wasn't going to go out and buy a CD player still, because those are still
that was
higher.
pricey back then.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I went to Kmart and got like a tape one.
Yep.
That had
the adapter.
Yes, and used the adapter
On your little
with a Walkman or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it would have. I could have upgraded from the tape at some point into a CD, but I don't think so. I think that was all tape back then. I'm pretty sure my second car, CD. Mm-hmm. First one though, AM radio to tape with the adapter.
Right.
And that wasn't so bad. That wasn't the worst thing. You'd get like a whole sleeve, a whole booklet of all of your favorite CDs that you'd flip through while driving. Throw it on the side and like flip it open or put it on your lap while you're driving and look through it. And people are like, oh, these kids were distracted driving and stuff, looking at their phone. And we were just sitting there flipping through our CDs or flipping down our visor with the CDs on there and looking through them that way. We were just as distracted, but maybe we just drove a little slower. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I remember riding with a friend too who had the big book.
Yeah.
Like
just, the Trapper Keeper?
Yes.
Yeah.
It just started flipping through that while driving, and I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. Find
something good.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to think, too, of the time, because that would have been, like, I was trying to think of what music I would have listened to then.
Yeah.
And that still would have been me heavy on skateboarding.
Okay.
At that time. And I feel like that was probably a heavy time for punk for me then. I feel like I was listening to, like The Offspring, Greenday, but then I would have had like
Punk-O-Rama Volume 2. And
I would have had a bunch of those discs put out, tiny music for tiny people, or short music for short people, fat music for fat people. There's a bunch of those.
There's a bunch, yeah.
That were like that.
Comps,
and I liked those comps because you got a nice variety of other, whatever.
Yep.
A little bit of everything. So and then it was like skateboarding videos, which were like, that was great. I'd go out and I'd get a skateboarding video, or I'd go to a buddy's house and see a skateboarding video. And it was like two types back then. There was either like punk skaters or the rap skaters.
Okay.
And that was it. It's like you could get, if you wanted
you get music with it?
No, the music would be on the tape. The skaters would skate
to whatever they were into.
They got to pick whatever songs. And so you'd get to hear that. And then sometimes they just throw in some weird oldie songs, or Huey Lewis or something would be on there too. But for the most part, it was punk music on there. Or again, hip hop or rap or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. I think like I would have been. I liked the skateboarding in general, but I always more connected with the ones who were doing punk stuff, and that would have been more of my fashion as well, leaning towards that way, because I wasn't dressing like a G. I was dressing like a P or whatever I thought was, you know, that at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh shit. So let's see. What else did I do to that car?
Okay, when you got this in like 97, it's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
What condition?
It was actually still a decent shape.
And was
I thought,
like
you know,
your dad driving it up until he gave it to you?
yeah, I mean, like I think
So you're familiar with this car
I remember
for a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember it was like the vehicle that my dad would drive and my mom would drive if she had to. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to drive. She didn't like the car. As far as I remember.
Yeah.
That was not her car. I think she ended up only driving it. Again, you know, back then, who knows? Or because I remember like elementary school and stuff, I'd walk for the most part. But I think if I was to get a ride to school, it was in that vehicle.
So I can't imagine you really did want to drive it on your own afterwards. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, like, it's just
Because even like a shitty used car that wasn't familiar is still new to you. But
yes.
this is a family car, and you just continued it.
Yeah, and really, like, when I look at it now, like, I wasn't the only, like, kid driving, like, that kind of shitty car.
No, of course
It was just,
not.
like, usually, like, all the
Especially
other...
in the 90s, a lot of other kids were
like,
driving 80s.
But they were driving, like, Hondas and other compact two-door kind of cars, and I was just driving this Colt. You know, they were like in the newer, their cars were probably early 90s or late 80s. I was still driving a 70s car.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, again, like getting it, I didn't care for it, but it didn't take that long to like appreciate it. It got great mileage.
Yeah, I saw that on the commercial I looked up too.
Yeah. I remember using that. I had a job in Mandan, and being able to like put, I want to say I could fill it up for like $7 or something like that. You know, like the tank couldn't have been that big, and I swear it got like 45 to 60 miles per gallon. You know, something insanely awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so that was like a nice perk of it. And I would appreciate something like that now.
Yeah, I thought I read like 35 or something.
Yeah. And
Maybe
I feel like it was better than that.
Yeah.
And Dodge Colt gets 34 miles per gallon on the highway, 23 in the city.
Standard power brakes and new metallic paints, maroon and blue, a super quiet engine too, perhaps a 5-speed stick for you.
How did Dodge Colt put so much in such a little car?
But maybe when I was driving to Mandan, I guess I was probably hitting highway type miles then, you know, hitting the interstate for that little stretch there. Mm-hmm. I know that was a nice perk. The interior, I remember putting seat covers on.
Yeah.
Because it had like that 70s.
Yeah, that kind of, was it like a mesh fabric?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if
not mesh,
tweed or whatever,
sure.
You know, and back then as well, I don't know. I don't see them as much anymore. People used to put car seat covers on their car seats all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're as widely popular anymore.
Right.
I don't think I've recently got into anyone's vehicle that has car seat covers on them. And maybe maybe the fabric in car seats is better now, where they're just not needed, or I guess it's easier to customize your car now. If you lease it or buy it, you can put in an order for a new car and have it look exactly the way you want it now. Not that I'm doing that, but people could do that.
Right.
You know, if you got the bucks to do it.
Like those grill bras. What the hell were those called?
That's it.
Bra.
It was called a bra.
Yeah.
Or
The
for you,
cars are
it was
like
called a
made
bro.
different, but
you know,
yeah, that
no.
was just to keep out.
I don't think it did shit.
Right?
I think it was just a look. That's it.
Yeah, just a
I'm
bra
sure
for your car.
they claimed it was to do something, but I don't think so.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, did older cars just have like a big draft? Like, if you're driving down the highway and you turn off your air and it's still blowing in, or
I don't know,
what was
because
the point?
I know like some vehicles would put like cardboard in their front grill or
I've
whatever.
seen that too, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just a winter thing. I think to reduce
Cold air coming in,
flow.
yeah,
Maybe
sure.
I'm not sure. I don't know anything about that shit. And the car bra either. Maybe that in my head it was to protect your hood, like the front, but it would only cover like the first third or half of your hood. And then I don't know,
like your bumper too, maybe.
did it go all the way down and cover their front grill?
I don't know.
That's what I can't
never had
remember.
one.
Or did it? Yeah, I remember seeing them.
Yeah.
But now I don't remember them enough to know like what all they covered.
Yeah.
I feel like they left your front grill open but went down on the sides, and maybe they did some bumper. I know they went over your hood a ways. I'm guessing it's bugs, and that's it.
Oh yeah, remember those? Yeah.
Bugs were crazy. Damn. Yeah. I remember a lot of stuff about things that aren't important. So that's-
Anymore?
Never were.
Oh, sure.
Never were in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my brain works. Before this car, my first vehicle was actually a moped.
Oh, okay.
Because I was later to get my license. I would hitch rides from friends a lot. So I didn't feel like a rush to get my license. It wasn't until I started like dating that I wanted to like at least have something to get to my girlfriend's house. Mm-hmm. So I had a moped. I had the Jawa, a pedal start centrifugal force moped. So it was like a glorified bicycle, heavy ass bicycle, but I'd use that to tool around town and stuff. And that one, it's a good vehicle, but it sucked when it wouldn't start because then it was like 100-some pound bike that I was pedaling.
Oh, geez.
Because you could switch it. Like there's a little switch which I had used, especially when I'd park it. You push it and it would like disengage the heavier like motorcycle chain it had on there, and then it would let you pedal via the bike chain. And so I use that as my like little security system basically. I'm like, yeah, go for it. You want to try to steal it? There you go. It's just a heavy ass bicycle and you'll never figure out how to start it.
And you'll find it like a block down.
That happened. It was stolen. It was stolen. I from my girlfriend's house, and I remember like leaving there at like 2 a.m. and walking out and looking around. I'm like, what the fuck? Freaking moped stolen. It's not here. And so I got a ride home and then reported it to the police, and it was actually found. And it was found a block away behind a business. Because I'm sure the person did what I just said, like got on it, tried to get it going, realized it was a heavy ass bike, and parked it down there and gave up on it.
Yep.
Because there's like, it was useless and bicycle mode, especially if you had to try to go up a hill. It ain't happening.
Nope.
You know? So yeah, that was actually not my first car, but my first vehicle. And that one, I put a lot of miles on that sucker.
Nice. I feel like I remember seeing you on that.
It's possible.
Maybe just around town or in high school.
Oh yeah, I remember taking that up on like up by the Capitol and stuff, and being just like on Dumb and Dumber, trying to get up the hill because
God,
it didn't
yeah.
have enough
Cars are
power,
flying past
and I
you.
could get 16 miles an hour. I could get it up to like 25 if I was going downhill. Otherwise, just me go. And just all these cars. At least I was on like a spot where there's like 3 lanes, so cars could pass me.
Yep.
You know, but I don't know why I ever went up that.
Right.
I don't, you know, just because it seemed like that was the right way. That was just being dumb. You know. Otherwise, it was all side streets, the smart way, side streets. Yeah, I don't know. But that was truly not my first car, but my first vehicle that got me around all over the place. And sometimes I'd have my buddy Vaughn. He'd hop on the back of it. There wasn't a seat there. It was like a rack, but he'd sit on there, and we'd try to get around town. And we kind of could, you know, but I think we eventually wore out the clutch in there. Just too much weight for it. And then it was very hard to start.
I remember riding on a friend's bicycle on the back before pegs were a thing, and you just put your feet like on the bolts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Sure.
just like put your hands on their shoulder and try and hang on.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, your foot just slips off that bolt
Yep.
and that tire goes right in your crotch.
Oh, yeah.
And rips it up.
Yeah, that
No,
happens.
not quite, but yeah. You get some ankle thrash and yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
Rough times.
It's good time. It was good times. Though.
Good times.
Good memories.
Great memories.
Yeah. You don't see kids doing that anymore.
No, you don't.
I'm sure there's some.
If
but
they do, they got the pegs now.
yeah. Why not? Invest in the pegs.
Go pegging.
Yep. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure all the cool kids call it pegging. I was really into purchasing out of the quarter machines, which you used to see all over too. Little homies.
Yeah.
So I think I was only missing 2 of the first. They came out. I think there's 2 seasons
Okay.
of the little homies, and I had them all sticky tacked to my dashboard. And I'm pretty sure I only was missing 2, and those are rare ones. So I had all those on there, and I had parked the car over by Blue Bank 2-step, you know the location, and I had went out skateboarding, and I had went around town or whatever, and I came back to the car. All my little homies were stolen.
Oh, no.
Yeah, strangely enough, cell phone. Nah, did I have a cell phone then? No. Wallet sitting on the front, still there. They just wanted the homies.
Jeez.
But that really hurt me, too. That was my cool little collection. I remember feeling like, what is this world coming to? It broke my heart because I had almost the whole...
A complete
I almost
set,
had it
almost?
completed.
That
you know?
sucks.
And there's probably good value in those now.
Well, maybe to somebody, yeah.
A lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people. They were cool. So yeah, that was my other customization. Those all over, just really over, not some on the higher dash in front of the steering wheel, a lot over by like the, dials or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess that would have been my other sweet customization to it. I got pulled over in that vehicle. That would have been, I don't think I had any like speeding or anything like that. I got pulled over in the wee hours of the morning because of noise. I ended up getting like a hole in the muffler.
Oh,
So
your car was too loud.
too noisy.
Okay.
It sounded like I wasn't like you'd hear those trucks that they would put in glass packs, as they'd call them, or the little other skaters would have like the Fartmobiles.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they'd put on like those little things on the end of their mufflers to make it sound like that. All you need is a freaking hole in your muffler, and you can do that. It's free. Just let it rust out, and it's fine. So yeah, that's the only one I recall. Getting pulled. Was it that car? No, it was my next car. I got pulled over because I was trying to test it out, the speed, and this was when I was also working in Mandan. Different car, but I'll tell you the story anyway.
What car was it?
That would have been a Nissan Maxima, 1985 Nissan Maxima. That car would talk to you. That car,
like Knight Rider?
yes, that
Nice.
car had the front panel, your speedometer, and all that was all digital. So when you were going, there was a meter that would show your speed. It would light up, different dots as the faster you went.
Cool.
Yeah, and you'd open the passenger side, and it would say, "Side door open." Talk to you in that way. What sucked was eventually that panel stopped lighting up. It wouldn't. It just stopped working.
Yep, that was it.
But my dad rigged it, so he figured out a way where he put a little red button. He drilled into the dash and he wired it somehow. He's like, the panel's not dead, but some reason it needs some sort of little kick. And so I'd start the car, nothing on the panel, and I'd flick this red button.
Okay.
And then if I hit it a couple times, the panel would suddenly come back to life. And that worked for a while. And then eventually it just didn't. And I had to guess how fast I was going.
Sure.
But anyway, I did get pulled over speeding in that car. When the panel did work, though, and I was like, I got to see what this thing can do. So I was cruising from my work to like Fort Lincoln.
Okay,
Park.
so you're at least
So I was working at the
highway-ish?
at the post, and then I needed to go to Fort Lincoln and do like maintenance work out there.
right on.
So it's
Which
basically-
I think is 55, 65.
50. Let's see. It turns 65 right after Fort Lincoln.
Okay.
So it would have been 55 there. And I drove this like daily, that little stretch, because I always had to go out to Fort Lincoln to do tasks out there. And so I was like, I want to see what this car can do. And I had taken it up to like 90 along there before. And this time I was like, I'm really going to open this sucker up. I'm just going to haul some ass. And I got it up to 120 something.
Holy shit. It's a pretty curvy road, right?
Basically one curve.
Okay.
It's just like a half circle from there. A good straight shot, and then it goes into a curve and then down a hill to Fort Lincoln,
Okay.
basically. So I could get it really going. And I had taken it up, and I got it up to that speed, and then I just was like, oh, slow down. Slow down. And then I got pulled over right when I had slowed down.
Okay.
So he got me going 80.
All right.
And I was like, sweet. And
Yeah.
then he dropped it down to whatever. He's like, oh, if I'd write down 80 or whatever, you'd get your license taken away or whatever they always
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
Well, you'd get points off, and I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say you were going this speed, just don't do it again. I'm like, okay, thank you, officer.
Wow, look at that.
Nice. But
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been that swell to me if he would have
saw
got
you
me
at
when I was
120.
going 120.
Yeah, over 100. Holy shit.
Yeah, and that felt good. That was neat.
Yeah.
I was on the Autobahn. I don't think I've ever really attempted to go that. I've probably hit like 100 now. Like sometimes when you're not paying attention and you're chatting and you're on a good
You just-
straightaway,
Right.
And you're just like not riding cruise control on your car. You're just like, talking away, and you just
Oh, shit,
suddenly,
I'm going-
oh, I thought I was passing people. So I know I've taken it up, like my current vehicles higher, but unintentionally.
Yeah.
I might have hit like 90 on purpose
Yeah,
to like
yep.
pass people and stuff, but like rarely higher than that unless I'm just not paying enough attention to how fast I'm going. It's boring straight away. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Whatever. I have an excuse, but still it would suck to get pulled over. Yeah. So the Colt, not really many tickets other than noise.
Right.
And I did end up having a muffler issue too in the Maxima. That one got a hole, and that one, I think both of them we repaired with this stuff called muffler tape, which is like a fabric wrap that you put on and you coat it with whatever, and it hardens, and it's supposed to, cover up that hole and make it. And I think they generally worked okay.
Right.
It's just kind of difficult to get under there and wrap it, especially if it was on a wider part. But yeah, whatever. So that was, that's the only ticket I can really recall in that one. That's a good boy.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't until my later years that I turned into a nasty boy.
If you're looking for a small car, and a lot of people are, the easy maneuverability, nimble handling, and above all the economy that a small car offers, then look to Colt. It's a lot of little Dodge, and we'll show you why.
How long did you keep it?
Well, again,
after you got it.
So I kept it until I must have only really drove it for a year or two.
Oh, okay.
Because once I couldn't, so that would have probably been my junior year. So I probably, drove it sophomore and most of my junior year into winter. Because once it stopped being able to go in reverse, that was kind of becoming an issue.
Yeah.
Where it just...
I could see that being kind of an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Because even, it just really got annoying having, even to like try to parallel park. I could pull in, but I'd have to get out, put it in neutral, and push the car back into the space and hope that it didn't keep rolling if there's another car there.
You weren't just kind of pushing it back from the driver's seat by kicking your leg out and pushing it. You were getting out of the car completely?
In the winter I had to. You can't
just like run and get back in to stop it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. or just, try to I'd push it from the hood and then get over to the side and pull on like the door frame there to try to stop it. It was, it was slippery in the winter, but it actually, with the snow and stuff, it had some resistance so it wouldn't keep rolling.
Okay.
So that was a bit easier, but still it got to that point where it just shouldn't be driven anymore. I still did for a while, but then, it was time to like...
So the car lasts almost 20 years in your family, and then you have it for like a year and a half. And
hey, what do you want from me? It just happened to be me when that issue occurred. It wasn't like...
Is that how your dad saw it?
Who knows? I don't know. I'm sure he thought this was, stupid kid ruining my sweet ride,
Right.
But it just hit that point where it's not, I don't know how I would have caused that kind of issue anyway. That's just like transmission shit happens,
Sure.
I don't think I was going forward, reverse, forward, reverse, forward, reverse.
Just throwing it in park right away before you stop.
Just cruising down and cut. And it was an automatic too. So it's not like I had the physical clutch to really grind them or something myself, So I didn't have any control over it. I think it just finally shit the bed, Your
dad probably knew it was on its way.
I think so.
It's like, here you go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Why not? Yeah. Because I was trying to think of like what vehicle. My sister, she got like a Plymouth Duster, which maybe you're not even familiar with that car. Because that was a rarity. I think that was like a cool looking car. I thought. And I don't know how long that one lasted her. I think it eventually, for her, it caught on fire on the highway.
Oh shit!
And I think she had her cats with her.
Yeah.
Or something.
Jesus.
I swear. Road cats.
Road cats.
And so the car was on fire on the highway.
Throwing out the cats.
And she was holding the cats. Yeah, I don't know. But that she got something outside of the family that was already there. Because I remember coming home one day and like the station wagon was gone. And suddenly there was this Plymouth Duster and some Chevy Cavalier or something, It's like, whoa, 2 new cars. Someone visiting? And boom, that was, so she got in on a new used car. I got the inheritance of the Turdmobile. And I don't know, I don't think she ever drove it, and she would have been driving a few years before me. So yeah, I think they just gave her that one. And since I'm the boy, I would just settle with that
of
car.
Course.
And plus, like, they probably, money's money. Maybe you can't afford one for the kid. You already got one. Here you go. And he's not going to complain.
Right. And he's going to wreck it in like a year and a half.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Deal with it.
How clean did you keep your car? Like, high school kids really seem to go like one way or the other, and it's either all garbage or it's pretty clean.
Yeah, I don't think I've been in cars that grossed me out, where you get in, they're like, hey, hop in, and you open the door, and there's like garbage everywhere.
Yeah, fast
and
food shit.
Where am I supposed to sit?
Right.
Like, you moved
just on my garbage.
Yeah.
Or they just brush it off right into the
floorboard.
And then you're just like,
and you put your feet like up
way
like
up,
this. Yeah.
It's like full of trash.
So no, I wouldn't do that.
I've been in that car.
I've been in a couple like that, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. How do you? I'm like, I've been to your house, and you don't keep your house like this. Why your vehicle? Like, you're in it all the time. This is like McDonald's bags and cups and old shit. Like, it's always fast food garbage and gas station garbage. Throw the shit away.
Right.
Don't make me sit on it. Like, why is it in here? So no, I was never like that. But I've never been like this. Well, that car, it's already a Turdmobile, is definitely dusty. I'm not like one to like wipe the dash all the time or clean things in my vehicle. So I'd still say it had to have been dusty for sure. But I wouldn't have garbage everywhere or anything like that. I don't think I ever took it through a car wash. I don't think anyone would notice.
Right.
It was the right color. Or any mud or dirt would blend right in. I like nature's car wash. You wait until it's raining. Clean. Looks perfect.
Right.
Probably the most I cleaned on the outside was maybe going to a gas station and using the little squeegees on the windshield.
Yep. Just get your
and maybe
bugs
on
off.
the headlights a little bit or something. And that was probably it. But interior, it was, I'm sure, full of dirt, but no, like, I didn't.
Right. You just didn't have trash everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not.
You weren't a smoker either.
No, I don't think I touched smoking until mid-20s, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So no. So I kept it. I mean, clean in the sense of not full of shit.
If you're ever out and about, like just looking at vehicles, and you see a Dodge Colt, would you want to take it out for a test drive just for like nostalgia? Or is it something you would ever even want to drive again?
I don't think I've ever thought about that, so that's kind of interesting to think about. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't mind taking it for a spin. From what I remember, now I'm not old by any means, but getting in that car, it also sat lower. So that like that would take more muscular effort to get in and out.
Yeah, you're like doing squats. Really.
Basically, yeah, it's a workout now. When back then, who didn't notice it. I think I would notice that part now. Not that that would deter me from driving it. If someone had one and they're like, "Hey, you want to take it for a spin?" All right, I suppose so. I don't think I'd get any weird feelings about it because it wouldn't be my car.
That's how my Subaru is now.
Yeah.
You sit really low. So when I'm getting out, I get out like a fat guy.
Yeah.
So I'll put my arms out on both sides and just pull myself out.
Yeah. And that's like.
And when I first started driving it, I'd forget like how low it is. So when you get in, you just kind of drop.
Yeah.
And just plop right in your seat.
And that's, fuck. I mean, it's kind of like that's how sports cars are, closer to the road, more control and stuff. But like, I don't want to be that way anymore. I want to sit a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And it's annoying as hell when any other car, you're trying to turn or something and they pull a little too far forward and you can't see the traffic coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, fuck, I got to wait for the light now.
Yeah.
I can't take my right turn because your other car is an inch taller than mine and I can't see over your your door. Damn it.
Yeah, and cars are so much bigger now too. Where driving like a regular sedan these days, everyone's headlights is like right over your bumper. You know, if they're right behind you, they're just in your mirror.
Yeah, I complain about headlights all the time. I think maybe I have astigmatism anyway.
Well, they're getting brighter.
They are. They turn from like yellow lights to white lights.
Yeah.
And they're insanely bright.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's my eyes, but I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Like I can drive fine if there's not any freaking cars coming my way. Normal street lights. I don't get any weird, things that I see. I can see fine. It's when those headlights come on and they're insane. It's like their people are driving with their brights all the time. That's what they feel like.
That's what I thought was going on
yeah.
too. Yeah.
I'm like, I swear cops used to pull people over if they were driving with their brights on. Now cop cars are probably the same way with just insanely bright headlights. And I've yet to have a vehicle with headlights like that.
Yeah.
And I know at some point I probably will have it and I'll appreciate it. But for now, it fucking sucks. Although I do recall failing my first driving test.
Oh.
And I don't think it had anything to do with me. So we had an appointment. It was like for 3:30, right after school. Got picked up by my mom. We went up there to the DMV or what? DMV, right? Yeah, that's right. And check in for the appointment. And they're like, okay, go wait out in the hallway. This is a different building than where it's at now.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of the building of the Capitol area. And so we were waiting out in the hallway, waiting. Hour and a half goes by. It's like 5:00. All the employees start coming out. And we're like, hey, we had an appointment at 3:30. And the guy's like, he goes in, gets his clipboard. He's like, let's go. I was like, oh, cool. Get in. And I start driving. And he's just like not having any of it. I go through it. I think I'm doing fine, nervously fine. Cause I know I got
he's already pissed off.
Yeah. Cause I'm inconveniencing him, even though it's their fault that they forgot about me.
Right.
And it's not like my appointment was scheduled at 4:45 or something. It was 3:30. We were waiting. We were there. You guys just forgot about me. And so we get back and he's like, you failed. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you were speeding on the Capitol. You failed right away. And I was like,
oh
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. And
that's
then,
such a dick move too.
Yeah.
Especially
I'm like, just fine. If I failed, then tell me. Just
right.
Why didn't you just reschedule it?
Yeah.
If this was bad for you, I get it. We were waiting, but I would have much rather went in tomorrow or another day and got it past the first time. Because there's no way I was speeding on the freaking Capitol. This guy was just pissed at me. I'm positive. And then I did the exact same shit. The next time. I don't remember how long I had to wait. Because I think you can't do it the very next day. I think you had to wait like a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I passed right away. Had a lady who was nice and she was, I was able to take the test right away and I passed. So I feel like that guy just had it out. He wanted to go home and I was inconveniencing him. And so why pass the guy? If he passes the kid, he's got to go in. He's got to do the paperwork. He's got to issue me my license. That's another like half an hour when I want to go home, So I think he just failed me so he could get the hell out of there. Probably had to go to a kid's little league game or something,
All right. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
As my first official guest.
It's been an honor.